Hi and welcome back. I'm Moshe Gersht, and together we're journeying through the depth and beauty of the Jewish calendar, inspired by teachings from the ZOHAR, the wisdom of Kabbalah, and Hasidus. In this series, we're diving deep into the spiritual significance and practical wisdom behind Sukkot. So how do I translate all these amazing insights into my everyday life? That's exactly what I would be thinking after going through so many beautiful ideas over the last month. After building your sacred space during Sukkot and stabilizing your newfound clarity, this is the next step: transformation. Joyfully taking your inner wisdom and making it real, tangible, and practical in your everyday life. Sukkot is called Zman Simchatzenu, the time of our joy, and it's perfectly timed. Why joy now? Because once you've done the deep internal work, letting go and reconnecting to your higher clarity, you're ready to share and express, celebrating this new awareness outwardly. Joy is what naturally emerges when your inner world aligns clearly with your outer expression. Joy isn't superficial happiness. It's the deep fulfillment that comes from living in alignment, from feeling integrated, clear, and purposeful. On Sukkot, joy arises naturally because we begin to live authentically from the newfound clarity of our hearts and souls. Think about it like this. Joy emerges when you take the inner insights, these realizations about love, gratitude, purpose, or spiritual connection, and then you start turning them into action. When you get clear and you're ready to start expressing your inner truth practically in relationships or work or in your daily challenges, life becomes joyful. Why? Because that authenticity brings deep satisfaction. The Shem Mishmuel, one of the great Hasidic masters, explains that if a person truly wants to get happy, they have to strip away everything that isn't them. When you're left with nothing but yourself, joy comes through as your natural state. One of the most profound symbols of Sukkot is the four species: the lulav, the palm branch, the esrog, the citron, the hadassim, which are myrtle branches, and the aravos, which are willow branches. So what do these symbols teach us? These four species represent integrating your spiritual insight into every corner of your life. Think of each species as reminding you of something essential. The lulav, tall and straight, symbolizes clarity and inner alignment, keeping you upright, connected, and authentic. The esrog, which is shaped like a heart, symbolizes integrating your emotional clarity into how you love and relate to others. The hadassim, fragrant myrtle branches, remind you to experience the sweetness and beauty in each moment, cultivating gratitude. And the aravos, humble willow, teach you humility and openness. Even when life is challenging, when you hold these four species together, it symbolizes bringing your spiritual clarity into every area of your life, not just into meditation or prayer, but into your work meetings, into your family conversations, your creativity, and yes, even the tough moments. This is how your insights become alive and joyfully express in the fullness of daily living. The Hebrew word for the festival is chag. It hints at something very deep and very powerful. Chag, which means holiday, represents the integration of two forces: chesed, kindness, love, and openness, and gevura, discipline, boundaries, and strength. When these two energies merge, they form something higher and deeper. They take us into the synthesis space called daat, this clear awareness and harmony. Why does this matter? Because joyful integration happens precisely when you find the balance between kindness and strength, between openness and boundaries. It's how your spiritual insight remains grounded and sustainable rather than fleeting or fragile. True joy is living in the sweet spot of balanced awareness and clarity. During Sukkot, there's a fascinating custom. We read from the book of Koheles, Ecclesiastes, and at first glance, it seems puzzling. Koheles famously says, "Everything is vanity, nothing matters." So why are we reading such a seemingly depressing message at the time of our joy? Because Koheles' deep wisdom teaches us something essential about joy: that true happiness doesn't come from temporary, fleeting material pursuits. Rather, real joy, lasting joy, comes from connecting to something deeper and eternal. Koheles reminds us that when we let go of chasing transient pleasures and recognize life's temporary nature, we actually discover profound joy. We learn to treasure meaningful moments, relationships, and spiritual connections that truly last and fulfill us. Even the roof of your sukkah, the schach, traditionally made from leaves or branches we'd normally discard, has a powerful lesson. We essentially take trash and turn it into the most prized part of our sukkah. The schach symbolizes that even the things in your life that seem like setbacks, challenges, or trash are actually divinely guided. Nothing is wasted. Everything has purpose. And when you see your life in this way, you recognize that even the challenging moments have meaning. You find joy not just in the success, but in the growth itself. So joy becomes about trusting the divine purpose hidden in every moment, even those that seem messy or unclear. Here's how you can practically live with this joy every day. See your life as integrated. Every experience, big or small, joyful or challenging, is a chance to express your newfound inner clarity. Practice gratitude consciously, noticing the divine flow in all areas of your life, just as the 4 species remind you. And recognize setbacks not as failures, but as divine stepping stones, guiding you to deeper clarity, wisdom, and joy. This Sukkot, step boldly and joyfully into this next beautiful stage of integration. Take your inner clarity and wisdom and express them openly in your world. Allow yourself to live deeply, to feel joyfully, to see meaning clearly, not because life is always easy, but because you trust the deeper divine wisdom guiding you along the way. Remember that true joy emerges naturally when you align with your inner truth and your authentic outer expression. May you experience the full sweetness and clarity of this joyful integration, recognizing that every moment, even the ones you once overlooked, are filled with meaning, gratitude, and divine guidance. Chag Sameach.